This is my Gen 5 LT L8T 6.6 installed on 1970 Chevelle, as you can see. The problem right now, I'm installing the harness. So this is the standalone harness. I'm gonna try to plug it back in and see where it goes. I bought this kit from Michigan Motorsports. So this kit was to convert the factory harness to a standalone. I put my best foot forward on it. Hopefully it works. If it doesn't, then I'll just go online and have to buy a standalone harness. But this kit was only around $100, so I thought I'd try it out. It's worth a shot before you go buy a standalone, see if you can handle it. I got all the information off of alldata.com, and all they give you is this portion right here and some instructions. They don't tell you how to do it, of course, because it's big business. They're not gonna give you the answers to the test, but go to alldata.com. You pay about $20 and you can get the exact year, make and model of whatever motor. This is a 2021 L8T 6.6 out of Silverado 2500. So I got that information off of alldata.com. I'm gonna plug this in and I'm gonna see how it goes. Hopefully it fits and everything works out fine. If not, I just have to buy a standalone harness, but I wanted to give it a shot first. All right, first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna remove my hood just because of visibility, and it's a fiberglass hood. It's pretty light, so I'm gonna remove it first and then go from there. All right, so I have the harness laid out in here. First connection is gonna be right here on the front, and after that I'm gonna work my way through the coils. See the coil wires right here. I have it wrapped around that way. I have a manual transmission, but this is for automatic. So you can see my transmission controls and everything right there. I'm gonna just stuff those to the side for now because I have a TKO 600. So I'm gonna stuff those to the side right now and then go from there. All right, I got the driver's side coil banks plugged in. I'm gonna work my way on around the harness. Then on to the next step. All right, I'm redirecting the wires behind. This is a painless wiring harness, so I'm redirecting the wires behind my wheel hub, trying to just hide them away a little bit so they're out the way. Right now I got them loomed up. I'm gonna add some tape to it, just so I can put it through there so I feel safe about it. And then I'm gonna run it along probably the top of the radiator, just so it's out the way. All right, I'm interfacing the painless harness into this. This is my, let's see, converting to a standalone harness. So this is the BP Automotive Bare Essentials LT swap. It's only the Bare Essentials is right here. It's only 3 wires that you need to send input to. All right, so this one is the battery, so the battery will be going right here. The second one is fuel, which I'm gonna be running the fuel pump this way along the front side and be going to the back. And the third is the ignition. So on the painless wiring harness, the ignition source is this orange and white one. So the pink wire, pink and black, you can see on the painless harness where it says, let me see if I can turn it the right way here, where it says coil power positive, orange and white. You connect that to the ignition, the pink and black, the ignition wire for the bare essentials. So then I have my alternator. This is my alternator positive, so I'm gonna be connecting that directly to there. And then you have the positive wire that's going to the battery, coming from the painless wiring harness. And this is the starter wire. The starter wire comes directly from the Gen 5 LT. It's the yellow wire. Once you check your pinouts, you'll see I have a labeled starter pinout. It connects directly to the purple wire, which is the starter solenoid. That's number 919 starter solenoid. That connects directly to that. What that's going to do is feed through the wiring harness, and when it feeds through the wiring harness, it's going to come out right here at this rounded one. It has one prong, and that's your Gen 5 LT. You can see it's yellow on this side too, so it goes all the way through the harness and it comes out yellow on this side too. So that'll plug directly into my starter, which the starter I need to put it on the motor, but the starter is right here, and that'll plug in right there at the end of the starter, and that'll be about it, other than running my positive cable to the battery. So everything should be good to go, and it's going in a productive area. That'll be about it. I'm moving on to the next step after that, and I'm good to go. All right, I'm wiring in my painless wiring harness from my Gen 5 LT into my standalone harness. One of the first connections I got, this is your starter solenoid wire, this yellow wire. It goes to the purple wire. That's your starting solenoid wire for your painless, which leads to your ignition. The other wire that I have to connect is the ignition wire. So the ignition wire from the painless is this white and orange wire. Has to connect to this pink and black wire, which is from the standalone, which I'll be tucking right back in that corner. I'm gonna get those two connections done. Then after that, all we'll have to really do is get alternator power from the battery, and that's about it. That'll be our last connection. I'm gonna go in the painless just to make sure all the connections are solid and we don't have to add any fuses or resistors, and then I'm gonna go from there. All right, as you can see right here on page 62 of the painless manual, it has your fusible link 916, which is this wire right here. and it has the alternator wire, which I don't have to do that wire because the LS swap, the LT already has a wire coming from the alternator. So I use that on the battery. I put in my fusible link into that. You can see the same as right there. Now I'm gonna be running the same wire, that 915, which is this thick wire that comes in the kit. I'm gonna be running that from the other side. So I'll make a connection. That connection will be right there. I'm probably gonna have to extend this wire, but I'll go back and do that and then go from there. All right, I got my connection for my fuse done. This is coming from the L8T alternator. This is the alternator wire coming out. It's a fuse that they give. If you can see it, it says painless. So that fuse in combination, you can see it right here on page 62 of the painless manual. It has your fusible link. That's the alternator wire, that 916. We don't need that because we already have an alternator coming from the LT swap. And 916, that is this wire right here. It comes across. It comes from the wiring harness. Next, I'll be connecting my red. Let me see. This is the standalone harness from BP Automotive. That red battery wire. It already has, coming from the standalone, already has a connection on the end. I'm gonna just loom that. So I'm gonna loom that with the wire, with the loom. Then I already connected the ignition switch. So the ignition switch is, you can see pink with blue stripe ignition switch. This is a 10-amp fuse, so that pink with blue stripes, which is this one. Let me see here. Yeah, you can see it right there, pink with blue stripes, or they say blue stripes, but it look more black. Pink with blue stripes connects to the orange and white. This on the painless harness. So those go to each other on the standalone, which that goes to, that's your ignition wires. My fuel pump wire, I don't think I'm gonna use this. I did wire it into the standalone, but the painless wiring harness also comes with a fuse wire. I mean a fuel pump wire. So it's a fuel pump wire. It's one of these, I believe it's this one. Let's see. It's a pink wire. It's labeled accessories, and you can use that wire also too. And I'm gonna use that for the fuel pump. You can see it says, let me see if I can die. It says fuel pump wire number 947. I'm gonna use that as my fuel pump wire. It's instead of using the standalone fuel pump wire, because I'm gonna do an external, put it on the rail fuel pump and use a fuel pump regulator. It says for Gen 5 LT you have to have 72 PSI, and that's gonna get me to my 72 PSI. So I'm gonna do that. That's the simplest, that's the cheapest way. Of course, it won't be performance wise, it won't be the best way, but that is the cheapest way to get fuel pressure to your motor just to get it cranking up and running. So I'm gonna go on to the next step and then see how it goes. This is our Michigan Motors. This is the standalone box. It comes with this plate, and this plate is supposed to mount. You're supposed to be able to mount your bracket on this plate, and it comes with these shims to lift it up slightly so you can lock it in place. I'm gonna try to mount this. I really don't have screws, but I have these. I'm gonna try to use these screws and see if they'll work. Just have to cut off the edges on the other end, and then see if we can get it flush and see if we can get it looking nicely. So I'm gonna put that in and see how it goes. All right, I almost got the plate in, and you can see they give you these little round, right there, gaskets. You have to put that plate like this directly on top of those, and then put your screws in, because you need to lift it off, because when you go to clamp the standalone side in, you have to push down and push forward. So I'm gonna get those on and then go on to the next step. All right, I finally got the plate in. Next step is to try to lock the standalone BP Automotive. All right, so we're putting it in the bracket and then just press forward, and then it locked in. So it's locked in now. All right, so we got it locked in. That's all secure. We'll move on to the next step.